Hello, and welcome to my first YouTube tutorial where I'm going to attempt to explain what bleed is, how to use it, and how to properly set it up in file for your printing projects. I've been in the printing industry for 10 years now as a prepress manager, and I can tell you that the number one problem and annoyance to us prepress techs is lack of bleed. So without further ado, let's delve into it. To understand bleed, we have to understand trim and margin. These are fairly simple concepts once we understand the fundamentals. So what is trim? Trim is the size of your final piece. If you are printing a standard business card, your trim size would be 3.5 by 2. If you're printing a standard flyer, your trim size would be 8.5 by 11. If you're printing a standard postcard, your trim size would be 5.5, 8.5. No brainer. Next, what is margin? Margin is the size of the space between your trim and any important element, such as type, an image, or anything else you don't want cut off in your final print. Margin size varies quite a bit depending on project and design, but you should always have at least an 1/8 of an inch margin on anything you don't want cut off. Piece of cake. Next, bleed. What is bleed? Bleed is the amount of extra artwork that bleeds past your trim line. Now I know what you're thinking. Why in the hell would I want anything past my trim line? Well, I'll tell you. When your piece is printed, it is printed with the extra artwork along all 4 edges. Once it's finished and the ink is dried, it's given to the cutter operator. The cutter operator cuts your print to trim size and cuts off the bleed, thereby making your artwork go to the edge of the sheet without any white space. If you don't add bleed to your file, you run the risk of having your print under-trimmed, cut smaller than your trim size, or having unintended white space along the edges. The standard industry bleed size is an 1/8 of an inch, and I wouldn't go any smaller. So let's take a look at how this is set up in InDesign. Okay guys, so let's launch our InDesign application. Now I'm using InDesign CC, but it doesn't matter what version you have, it's all pretty much the same as far as this goes anyways. Okay, so we're loaded up. Now to start a new document, we are going to hit Apple N for a new document, or go File, New Document. Same thing. So in here we see page size. Now this is the trim size, okay? So again, if we're going to do flyer, we do 8.5 by 11. Business card would be 3.5 by 2, so on and so forth. So let's do 3.5 by 2. We'll do a business card. Now with the business card, because it's such a small space, we're going to probably want 1/8 inch margin. And bleed is always an 1/8 of an inch unless it's a special project that requires more, but never go under an 1/8. So there we go. Now if we want, we can preview to see how it's going to look before we actually okay it. That looks good. So we hit OK. Zoom out a little bit. Now when you're in InDesign, you can hit W, which is going to show you your trim size, what it's going to be when it's cut. Okay. And you can hit W again, and you can toggle that on and off. So let's say we're going to make a business card, and we're going to have a light blue background. Now, 99% of the time, when somebody sends a printer a business card and they want it to bleed, with a blue background like this, they are going to send it just like this. Let's see, 3.5 by 2, 0 and 0. They're going to send it just like this. And they're going to, send it, and they're going to want their business card printed with the, the blue to the edge with no white. And we're going to say, well, we need more of that blue in order to get you that edge, like if that makes any sense. So what all you got to do is just give yourself an 1/8 of an inch bleed, and it's that simple, guys. If I can fucking control it, okay. So there, now you have an 1/8 inch, and when you cut it, you'll have that bleed to the edge. Now the margin's important, and let me just give you an idea what I'm talking about here. So let's say Jeremy. Let's say this is some type I wanted in there. Now, cutting for a printer, it's we can get pretty exact, but it's never exact. That's why you need margin. So if you were to set up the file like that, half of your business cards are going to look like this when they're cut, because you didn't give us enough space. So we need the exact, at least 1/8 of an inch. Now, let's say that you have your business card design, it's awesome. Hopefully it looks better than mine here, and you're ready to send it off to the printer, okay? Now, I feel like a lot of the reason why people don't add bleed is because they don't necessarily know how to export it with bleed. So I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So once you've got your business card designed or whatever you're working on, you are going to go File, and you're going to hit Export. And we're going to say business card with bleed, okay? And we're going to hit highest print quality, and in here you're going to say do not downsample, do not downsample, do not downsample. And we're going to our marks. Now, do not add marks for a printer, okay? Don't do it. I know it may seem like it's a good idea, but all they do is they get in our way. All we want is bleed. So all you have to do, because we set up the 1/8 of an inch when we first set up the file, all we have to do is say use document bleed settings, and it's going to say, I already know that it's 1/8 of an inch, and it's going to fill it in automatically for you. And you don't have to worry about anything else up here, and you're going to hit export. Now, if we open our business card with bleed, we will come down to see the size, and you see it's not 3.5 by 2. It's actually 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. And when we trim it, we will trim it to 3.5 by 2. And that pretty much does it for bleed, guys. It's pretty simple, and I hope this video has helped you get a better understanding of what bleed is and how to add it to your files. So yeah, thanks, guys.